Well, we are back at it in the garage. Here lately, been getting a lot of stuff done on Bob, and finally on to the part that I like to do. This is my favorite part of the whole build, doing the turbo kit. So I've already started on the turbo kit. The turbo is mounted, the cold side is done, and now we are working on the crossover pipe. So I've explained a few times in past videos on what the turbo setup was going to look like, but now it's going to make more sense. So check this out. Mounted turbo, cold side done, and this is what I got so far. So the cold pipe is rather extensive. There's a lot of work involved here. You know, all 8.5 inches of straight pipe there. So that's done. The turbo mount is done. You can see it's welded to the part of the frame that we made, and the turbo is, well, it's held up on it. So I think we're off to a good start. Now, this crossover pipe is not going to be fun. It has to come up into here. There has to be a merge right here, and this is a pretty tight space between here and here. And then to compound things a little further, that gets kind of comfy over there as well. So we may have to do some engineering there, but we'll come back to that. All right, so this is what we had to do to get the header or the collector to clear the alternator. So we cut the ring off the header and added this piece to it, and then put the V-band back on it, which allowed it to turn faster over the alternator. Well, you'll see. Let's put it on the car. And there it is in the car. It probably looks kind of cozy in the video, but there's still quite a bit of room under there. I think I can just almost fit my whole hand under it. And the collector part of that header is going to get wrapped anyways, just to protect the alternator a little bit. But I think it's going to be fine. I ran them closer than that before without any kind of wrap, and it was okay. So anyways, now we're going to get on to the difficult part of making this merge into the V-band that goes on the turbo. So this is going to be a challenge. I think you can see the collector over there in the background, and that's got to come across. The problem is that in order to make that bend out of the collector, the bend is going to be way out here, too close to this. So that is actually going to have to, one or the other. Either this is going to have to go up and over the balancer, or, well, that's pretty much the only way. It's going to have to go over the balancer because there's not enough room right here. And if there was, there's still not enough room over there, I don't think. So, got to play it by ear. This is the hardest part, so we'll make this first. That will just fall in place, no big deal. Alright, so we're going to mark this thing so we put it back on the turbo the same way every single time. So we do like that. And then put it on there something like that. We mark it 4 ways. Just so we don't lose our marks. We call this top. And these we'll put on there so we'll orient the pipe in the same place every time. These are just for reference. When I start getting down to the nitty-gritty and fitting these pieces really close, I'll have to make sure, and we'll use those lines a lot to make it fit well, and so it'll weld nice and all that kind of stuff. So let's go back to the car. I've already done some of this fitting, so we want to make sure that this pipe keeps going back in the same place now, because like I said earlier, it's getting to the nitty-gritty. So we got this thing marked, a good reference point. Put this clamp back on here. I'll slide that opening in the clamp there so I can see it, and then I'll turn it just so I can tighten it down. So what you can't see in the camera is that other mark is right there above my finger. This thing is going to be pretty close. Okay, I am beat. I am totally lost track of time. I don't know how long I've been working on this particular side of the crossover pipe, but it's been several hours. Been a few changes of plans since I don't even remember what I first started out in the video. So I'll explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it this way, and then well, you'll see. All right, so this side is tacked together. This side being the passenger side. So initially, I wanted to start out with this pipe on the left side centered up and down. After thinking about it and cutting a few different setups, I decided to go with putting that pipe on the bottom and on the center, and I think you can tell by looking at it from above. And my camera just flipped out. Come back. Okay, there we go. Anyways, so with it set up that way, now this pipe from the driver's side over there is going to come in from the top. The reason why I did it like that is it's got to get over the balancer anyways. And I think you can tell how high the balancer is compared to this and the top of this and blah, blah, blah. So it's going to have to go up a little bit, flatten out, and then it's going to have to go back down to get into that side. So that will be the chore for tomorrow. Fitting the driver's side is going to be easy. It's fitting the second part of that merge is what's not going to be any fun, or well, a different kind of fun, I guess, if you like torture or whatever. Anyways, so let's get started on that. All right, so we are getting into the skills portion of this. This is the part that takes forever, and even though I like building the turbo kit, this is a test of your patience and everything else in between. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Some of it will make sense, some of it probably won't, but nonetheless, it's time to make the merge where the driver's side and the passenger side of the crossover pipe join going into the turbo. First part is this. This is going to be the beginning of the merge where it goes in, where it meets up with the passenger side, and this is the hard part. So I have this thing clamped down to the table, and it probably won't move until this piece is permanently fitted. You can see I got some reference marks on the table right here. You take little cuts at a time to make this thing fit, and I think you might be able to tell from there how I lined the side of the pipe up with the long line. And look down here, kind of hard to tell. Do some Sharpie marks here and there. A whole lot of grinding and fitting. You really gotta take your time on this to make it fit right, because if you got some big fat gaps in there, you'll have to weld them up, and then the merge just won't last. Big fat gaps, big fat welds in the merge, it's guaranteed to crack. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. So right now it's gonna be a whole lot of that, probably 3 or 4 hours worth, and I'll be back. All right, we're getting down to where the cuts are getting much smaller. As you can see, I got quite a bit of it cut there. Then I'll show you what it looks like as we made it up to the other pipe. I think you can tell there, it's getting pretty close. And we're just trying to get the edge of the pipe inside of the flange like that. But it's looking pretty good. More cutting and grinding. All right, hard part's done, the grinding and the fitting. Now we just got to cut the excess, I guess you'd call it, the excess, whatever, and then get it cleaned up and ready to weld. As you can see, that fits pretty good. That might look like a gap on the camera, but that's actually a line from the Sharpie. Not bad. So we just got to do some cleanup, get it tacked together, trimmed up, and we'll test fit it in the car. Okay, I got that part of the merge tacked together, and I actually went ahead and welded it. It fits really good. I kind of wish I would have got the clocking a little bit different, but I'm going to turn the camera around, show you what it looks like on the car, and we'll definitely be able to make it work. Just not exactly what I was aiming for. So there it is. It's all bolted up. You can see the clamps are on it and all that neat stuff. This pipe, the angle of the video is probably not very good, but this pipe is going to point over the balancer. It's just not exactly what I was looking for, but that collector right there is still got to come way out here. So there's going to be a little bit of an S to this, but it's not going to be the end of the world. So I think we'll probably tackle that in the next video. That's a good place to cut this one off. Got a lot done. Car's well on its way to being turbocharged yet again. Now I'm kind of looking forward to that, I ain't gonna lie. But anyways, thanks everybody for stopping by and checking it out. We're going to, the next video is going to be the downpipe, wastegates, and the crossover will probably be done, but we'll see how that goes. Anyways, thanks guys. We'll see you in the next one.